Hello, welcome to the Soulprint Weekly Pick Your Crystal reading. This is for the week of May 21st through the 27th. So I'm doing something a little bit different today. I have, crystal bracelets, right? And let's get started, shall we? Oops. Turn into a figure eight. There we go. Alrighty, so we have, these are just tones of grays and white. We're going to call that gray. This is, I think these are jasper or red light crystal. I'm going to call this rust. It's not a red and it's not a brown, so we're going to call this rust. And these ones are tones of green. So take a moment, see which crystal or crystals resonate with you for the week of May 21st through the 27th. Thank you so much for being here. And let's get started. Okay, so here we go. Four Cups, the Fool, High Priestess, Ten of Pentacles. Nice. Nice cards for those of you who picked this crystal. Okay. So, sometimes in life, things just don't quite go the way we hope or want them to. And that can lead us to feeling a little bit disappointed, feeling, bored, unfulfilled. Sort of just like things aren't quite going the way we want them to. Sometimes that's because the path we're heading down was not necessarily one that would serve our highest intentions and best interests. Sometimes it's because we're not viewing the situation clearly enough to see the gift that it brings. Sometimes the timing isn't quite right. But there is forward movement with the Fool to take you to a place and a space really of new beginnings. Now, some people say the Fool is foolhardy and doesn't look where he's going and doesn't realize the danger he's in, and sometimes that's true. But based on the other cards here, what this Fool is talking about is that a leap of faith that you have taken or are about to take ultimately is going to end up being in your best interest. So sometimes when it feels like things aren't quite working out the way you hoped or expected, understand that you were still heading in the right direction. You are still wanting to follow that new direction and that new path. And the puppy in this card, it feels like that is like a support or a companion, as opposed to, the dog that's going to jump in the back of your legs and send you flying off the mountain. And so you've got the dog supporting, you've got the umbrella, which is sort of helping to slow down the fall, if you will, or allow you to control the jump. So these are good things. You're going in the right direction. It just may, you just may need a little bit more time for things to start to come together. With the High Priestess here, this is about a couple of things. It's about making sure that you own your highest truth. And it is about listening to those instincts, that intuition, your inner voice, trusting it. If it has led you this far in a direction, don't lose hope. and don't lose patience and don't become disappointed or despondent. Know that you are moving closer and closer, honestly, to the higher vibration and higher intention and purpose of your path. The Ten of Pentacles here is allowing you, reminding you, letting you know that when you follow the path of your highest intentions, the abundance that you need flows to you easily and comfortably. It comes to you not without effort, but it comes to you because you have the confidence and the clarity to know that it's coming. You know, sometimes when we make big changes in our lives or we contemplate big changes, we get hung up on, well, if it doesn't happen fast enough, if it doesn't happen soon enough, and we tend to create these timetables in our head that may not necessarily be completely in sync with, sort of ultimate timing, with the higher picture, the bigger picture. But this is assuring you that as you move forward, the challenge, the clarity, the insight is going to take you to that place where you're going to find that sense of abundance and material comfort. All right. And let's start with, see what this one has in store for you. There we go. Press. Three of Wands. Eight of Cups. Three of Swords. Okay. All right. So we're starting with the Three of Cups. Interestingly, because in some ways, this seems to be a little bit of a reflection, kind of some of the same energy of the previous crystal reading. So the Three of Swords is often about, people sort of easily, they sort of categorize it as like, well, a broken heart. But that's not what it always represents. Sometimes it can just mean friction, just the quarreling, bickering. Sometimes it is about just being incredibly unhappy because you're separated or apart from those who you don't wish to be apart from. Because it's followed by the Eight of Cups, it very much feels as if there was a sense of sort of having to choose a new path, having to make new choices, perhaps leave a situation or an endeavor that ultimately was disappointing. It didn't materialize the way you wanted it to be or hoped it would be. Or perhaps just over time things have sort of disintegrated and fallen apart. But there's definitely sort of a real sense of sadness and loss connected to these cards. But the Three of Wands is lovely here because it is letting you know that you are making progress in terms of going forward, in terms of creating a new direction, a new beginning. Because, of course, when you walk away from a disappointment, what you're doing is you're forging that new path forward. And the Three of Wands is not, it's not sort of an initial attempt or the very beginning of. This is more about recognizing that you've taken or will be soon taking the first steps towards completion. It is not the initiation of something. It is the place where you can actually start to see progress and you can see moving forward with a clearer sense, literally, of clarity, with understanding the direction you're wanting to take, what that new path you're forging looks like, and where it's taking you. And you're finishing up here with the Empress. So the Empress, what is the Empress? The Empress is about new beginnings, new growth, abundance, fertility. It is about, the spring and new life coming to be. And so the series of cards is basically reassuring you and letting you know that, yeah, you know what, things have been a little hard. They've been difficult. And, you know, they weren't easy. But somewhere along that pathway, you realized that you needed to change things up. You needed to move in a new direction because the path that you had been on had created hurt and disappointment. And so now you're moving forward along a path and you're starting to see the benefits of it. You're starting to see with the road ahead. And it's looking promising and it's looking good and hopeful. And with the Empress, that sort of abundance, those blessings, that nurturing, loving energy is surrounding you. And so there's tremendous potential for growth and there's tremendous potential for being able to leave the sadness and the disappointments behind as you forge that new path and move towards something that is going to be far, far more to your liking and far more helpful to you. All right, let's look at the shades of green. Here we go. The Two of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Hermit, and the Emperor. All right. So this is the thing. If you have selected this crystal and only this crystal, maybe just take another moment and see if one of the other crystals also resonate, because all three readings are sort of aspects of kind of the same thing, or they're building on a basic message. So don't have to. I'm just suggesting that there may be additional information for you if you look at the other crystals in this reading. So this one, we're starting with the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is about figuring out how to kind of maintain balance. Sometimes there are competing areas of your life that are demanding your attention. Sometimes it is trying to juggle resources to make sure that you have what you need in the right place at the right time. And while this does not feel like it has been terrible or horrible, it definitely feels like it has been a little bit of a challenge, trying to keep sort of the balls in the air that need to be kept in the air so that you are able to try to maintain that sense of balance that you need going forward. But here comes the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is talking to you about a new venture, path forward, a new beginning. It is talking about new ideas, new inspiration, something, sometimes even a whole new way of life. It's about the energy of a beginning. You need time for quiet reflection. You need to allow yourself to hear your thoughts. But you also need to know that there comes a time where you have to kind of push yourself out of isolation, out of seclusion, out of the cave of protection that you've created and built around you. It is, the Hermit is about, reflection, contemplation. But sometimes when we've gone through difficult times, we kind of hibernate, we go under. And this card is reminding you that while there's definitely a need for reflection and clarity about your purpose going forward, there's also a need for you to move forward and get busy, because the Emperor, the card of that sort of success, that more the emperor and the empress are mates, right? And so the empress is about sort of nurturing abundance. The emperor, or oh my God, I can't even talk. Listen to me. The emperor is about harnessing your resources. Sometimes it is about finding a mentor. Sometimes it's about being a mentor, but it is about a more businesslike, analytical, concrete way of looking at things and of moving forward. And so again, there is this interesting flow of energy where there is a new beginning. There's new starts coming to you, and it can help you move from a place where there was a lot of kind of juggling, and it maybe was, well, not horrible, certainly not as easy as it could have been. But it's a time to reflect and really think about what you want, so that as you move forward with this new venture, you have clarity, and it's about what you want in your heart, in your soul. And then knowing that as you are able to move forward, you're able to create the security, the financial security, the physical, tangible, earthbound security that you're looking for and that you need. And there we have it. Thank you so very, very much for being here today. We hope to see you next week here at the Soulprint Weekly Pick Your Crystal Readings. Bye for now.